and then Mira and Zoe had to cut it off. She finds that it is still missing. Still, and that Rumi herself is nowhere to be found either. They find her in the dirt by the tree. She dies with blood in her mouth and tears on her cheeks. No one will mourn her. The Homid cries as if it feels her slip away. As her soul begins to tear into two, the part that will go back to Vima and the one that will go wherever humans do when they die, or perhaps it will all go to the demon realm. She deserves it, but the others do not. She dies with blood in her mouth and tears on her cheeks. The Hamun wails as it loses the hunter it had chosen. Wails and wails with grief and pain and sorrow. It wails because it knows that she was not loved in the end, because it had tied her soul to two others and they rejected her, and so she's alone, completely alone. When her gaze finally loses its light and her blood pours and pours and pours her life away, she deserves it. The others do not. The Hamun, good and cruel, and full of regret in the end, grants her permission to do her duty. It does not allow her soul to find peace in return. She dies with blood in her mouth, tears on her cheeks, unloved and alone as she'd always be. Selene leaves the body in the dirt where it belongs. She knows they find out. She thinks. Hampson Tower is chaos. The people are all confused what exactly they are doing there, what exactly the stage is burning. Mira and Zoe barely manage to flee backstage before they get trampled down by excited fans. Where's Rumi? She stares, swallows. A shiver runs up her spine and her heart aches. The soul in her chest has gone silent, and still it barely reacts when she reaches out, and there is nothing on the other end of the bond. Because they cut it. She thinks she knows. Even before they find out, they call Bobby. Rumi is still nowhere to be found. Find her in the dirt by the tree, cold and pale, covered in blood. It's Mira who sees her first, and isn't that cruel? Mira had almost never been first in anything, not the firstborn child, and definitely not the one loved the most, not the first in any of her classes during school, or the training she went through. She had not been the first one who mastered her Hanming weapon, and she hadn't been the first of them to kill a demon, but she was the first and the best at dancing, and now she is the one who sees Rumi first, in the dirt by the tree. She stops dead in her tracks, and Zoe pauses, and Zoe walks into her back, stumbles, startles, finds Mira's eyes of her own, nothing but questions in her gaze. Questions that turn into confusion, turn into fear, turn into sheer terror. No. Young girl whispers. No, she isn't. They find her in the dirt by the tree, cold and pale and covered in blood. They find her, crumpled and collapsed, sprawled out over the ground, unmoving, so deadly still. No, don't leave, that goes through her mind. The memory sharp and brutal, don't leave. And they did. And then Rumi did too. They find her in the dirt by the tree, cold and pale and covered in blood. It's Zoe who throws herself forward with a strangled sort of sob-scream, with the desperation of a woman whose heart is breaking apart. They find her in the dirt by the tree, and Zoe screams, bolts forward, trips over small rocks and patches of grass, and almost falls when her boots slip on the dirt surrounding Rumi. It's soaked with blood. Zoe crashes to her knees, and Mira is right behind her. Is right there, close enough to see her break apart, to feel herself break apart. Rumi's eyes are open, but not fully. Not as if she's been scared, but when she died, not as if she was been staring wide-eyed, but they are open, particularly. Her two coloured eyes are dead and empty. Her lashes look like ghostly fingers haunting her skin. But her eyes are open, and so is her mouth, crimson staining her lips and chin and jaw, as if she'd been choking on it, desperately trying to spill it out.